抜きな。どっちが早いか勝負ってやつだぜ。どっちのスタンドが強えか思い知らせてやる。Open the game!
Hello everyone, Xfords here, and welcome back to another JoJo's Bizarre Adventure discussion video. Today we're going to be analyzing and comparing two pistol-wielding stand users, Whole Horse and Guido Mista, to see who has a superior stand. This video is going to be similar to my Dio vs Diavolo discussion. I'm also considering turning these style videos into a series called Standoff, where we would compare and analyze similar stands, or just two stands that people would like to see compared, and come to a conclusion to decide which stand is superior. There will be a card in the top right. You guys can vote if you would like to see Standoff become a series on this channel, or if you have another name for the series that you would like to suggest besides Standoff, let me know in the comments. But back onto today's video, we have Whole Horse versus Mista. Both of these stand users' stands have similar powers but function very differently. Whole Horse possesses the stand the Emperor, and Mista possesses one of my personal favorite stands, Sex Pistols. To start off, the first stand we are going to be analyzing is Whole Horse's Emperor.
Name's Whole Horse, and I control the stand that's known as the Emperor.
Emperor is a stand that takes the form of a revolver that can instantly appear in the hand of the user when its name is called. Emperor does not have a personality or a voice, it only serves as a weapon to the user. Taking a look at Emperor's abilities, his dangerous and most notable ability is to freely control the trajectory of its bullets. Emperor's bullets are not limited to just living targets, but can target any object in any direction at the speed of a regular bullet. But because the bullets are an actual part of the Emperor, they cannot damage enemies outside of its range. Emperor's range is about the same as a regular bullet though. Emperor has about the same power as a normal bullet. It can pierce through and kill any normal human without any difficulties. Unlike other guns, Emperor has zero recoil, allowing the user to fire rapidly without readjusting their aim at all. Although Emperor's projectiles move at the same speed as normal bullets, the user can see where the bullets are going, seeming to increase the user's reaction time. Emperor is also an extremely stealth-focused stand, considering the stand only appears when the user is holding it and disappears when the user isn't. It is almost impossible for someone to detect that the user has a stand until Emperor has been fired. To finish up Emperor's analysis, we have the stand stats: a B in destructive power, B in speed, B in range, C in durability, E in precision, and E in development potential. I should mention though that Emperor's stats are a little bit inconsistent with what we've seen it do, considering Emperor has an E in precision, but yet we've seen it avoid Silver Chariot at full speed. But then again, that's pretty normal in JoJo for the stand stats to make no sense. Moving on, we have one of my personal favorite stands, Sex Pistols, the user being Guido Mista, and it being one of the most unique stands in JoJo. Sex Pistols is composed of 6 tiny sentient beings around the same size as a bullet, with each of these 6 tiny people having their own different personality and characteristics to distinguish themselves from one another. Sex Pistols exist either around Mista or inside his gun, numbered from 1 to 7, skipping number 4 because of Mista's obsession with 4 being bad luck. The Sex Pistols love to eat and they will not work unless they're fed. We're going to be taking a look at the personality and characteristic traits of all the members that make up the stand Sex Pistols. Number 1 is typically shot out first, and is often depicted as the leader of the group. Outside of the number 1 on his head, it's usually distinguishable by its joyful demeanor. Number 2 appears to be the most roguelike out of the bunch, but will often work together with number 1 as a team. Aesthetically, number 2's eyes have black bars running through them, giving the appearance of goggles. Sex Pistol number 3 is vicious and commonly shows a belligerent face. He's often bullying number 5. Speaking of number 5, he is the next Sex Pistol. Although he is named number 5, he's technically number 4. He's a timid crybaby who is constantly being bullied by number 3. He's most often seen on the receiving end of some kind of harm, which is likely a reflection of Mista's dislike for his actual number. Number 6 is considered the most fearsome looking out of them all, with a V-shaped marking above his eyes. Unlike number 3, it never displays hostility towards the others. Lastly, we have number 7, similar to number 1 in appearance, and is known to take initiative in similar fashion. Much like number 2, it'll yell out in excitement when riding a bullet, and has at one point in the series imitated a bull rider. And that's the main reason why I love this stand so much, and was excited anytime I knew Mista was about to be in a fight. Sex Pistols provided so much comic relief to the series, as well as they were just so enjoyable to read. Moving on to Sex Pistols' ability being his main ability of bullet control. Mista can command each member of Sex Pistols to shoot in different directions and even bounce off objects, or stop once inside their target. Mista's most common use of this is to rebound within the target, destroying their vital organs from the inside. So as Mista shoots out bullets, the Sex Pistols will be riding the bullets and kicking them all around in different directions, even playing and pass with them, trying to hit their target from all sorts of different directions. Sex Pistols are also an amazing stand for defense. Even when Mista was unconscious, Sex Pistols still protected him, and they use their ability to deflect shots or catch bullets. Number 5 has even saved Mista from 3 fatal shots. Another ability possessed by the Sex Pistols is reloading speed. Mista normally does not reload his own gun, instead having Sex Pistols reload it for him. It's this reason that Mista commonly uses a 6-shooter revolver. It is seen though that Mista can use more than one gun, but finds it's rather difficult to use automatic handguns, as the reloading process is a bit impractical. Unlike Whole Horse's Emperor, a physical gun has to be present for Sex Pistols to work. Otherwise, they would be useless for offense, but still viable for defense. Sex Pistols also require real bullets to function, meaning it does not have unlimited ammo like Emperor. So because Mista is using a regular gun with regular bullets, that means he's going to have a substantial amount of recoil. But that really doesn't bother him at all because he's a bit of a badass. To finish up the Sex Pistols analysis, we have the stand stats: an E in destructive power, C in speed, B in range, A in durability, A in precision, and B in development potential. So now that we've analyzed both of these stands, we can finally compare them and come to a conclusion to see which stand is superior. So when we take the stand users out of the equation and just look at the stands themselves, Sex Pistols and Emperor, it's pretty obvious that Emperor has the upper hand, considering it never has to reload and can also control multiple bullets at once, just like the Sex Pistols can. Although there is one area that Sex Pistols are superior than Emperor, and that is in its defensive capabilities. It makes sense though for Emperor to be a superior stand because that's usually how Araki writes, so it's more interesting to see how the protagonist will overcome. But usually every single powerful stand in the series has a big downside, and Emperor's downside is its idiot of a user, Whole Horse. If we were comparing simply stand versus stand, Emperor is superior than Sex Pistols, but if we were comparing Mista versus Whole Horse, Mista would absolutely destroy him. In the canon of the series and also in the games, Whole Horse is always depicted as fighting alongside another stand user and never fighting independently. I would just love to see how powerful Mista would be if he had Emperor. Whole Horse is also a bit of a coward and loses his composure very quick once he realizes he's outmatched. And if he was ever faced with Mista's confidence, he would crumble. To make it really simple, let's look at it this way. Sex Pistols is a stand that allows the user to redirect bullets and can be used up to 6 times before a cooldown is required, which would of course be the reload. And on the other hand, the Emperor is a gun, which is also a stand, which can fire multiple controllable bullets and also has infinite ammo. So in conclusion, although Sex Pistols is my personal favorite stand out of the two, I would have to say that Emperor is a superior stand. But when it comes to the users, Mista with Sex Pistols would absolutely destroy Whole Horse with Emperor 10 times out of 10. Mista is just too much of a badass and would not accept defeat to an idiot like Whole Horse. So that's the end of which stand I think is superior, but I also wanted to give you guys a death match between Whole Horse and Mista. So we'll go over what I think would happen if Whole Horse and Mista got into a counter and had a battle with their stands. So I'm not sure what kind of interaction these two would have. I would assume Mista would be very amused by Whole Horse's personality and just kind of laugh in his face. So once the battle begins, Whole Horse would begin to shoot bullets at Mista, and Mista would send some Sex Pistols at him, but I believe he would also leave some Sex Pistols behind to protect him from Whole Horse's bullets. And we've seen in part 5 that Mista can take a hell of a beating. So even if he doesn't have all of his Sex Pistols to protect him, he'll be fine if he takes a couple shots. And Whole Horse has said multiple times that his stand is not powerful unless working alongside someone else, so he would feel weaker than Mista considering he didn't have a partner with him. And then Whole Horse would feel overwhelming fear and become terrified of Mista at this point. And whatever shots Whole Horse got off on Mista, the Sex Pistols would have caught them, and while that's happening, Mista would have a couple Sex Pistols throwing around bullets in every direction, hitting Whole Horse because he has no source of defense. Unless maybe he was able to shoot bullets at the Sex Pistols, but we have seen that the Sex Pistols are way more precise than Whole Horse's Emperor. So with the Sex Pistols' superior precision, in a matter of no time, Mista would have Whole Horse bleeding on the ground dead. Mista might take a couple of hits, but for the most part, he would be protected by Sex Pistols. And that's how I think a deathmatch would go between the two. So for this episode, I decided to throw in a little bit extra because I love thinking about how Whole Horse and Mista would get in a fight. And that's just my personal opinion on what I think would happen. It might be a little bit biased because I just love Mista so much. So that was the standoff and the deathmatch. Thank you guys so much for watching this video, and I would love to hear your guys' opinion on Whole Horse versus Mista in the comment section below. And also, you guys can request any sort of what-if scenarios, standoff battles, or discussion or theories you guys would like to see pertaining to the JoJo's universe. If I like it, I'll definitely make a video on it.